Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video, I am going to be giving you my starting 11 prediction for the Aston Villa Manchester United game tomorrow, 8:15 kickoff. You've already seen my preview for the game. I gave you my preview yesterday night. And later on today, I will be giving you my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference ahead of the game. So let's get on with the starting 11 predictions. So as you all know, in the last 3 league games, we have gone with the exact same lineup, and it's the first time we have done that since November 2006. And I can probably see Solskjaer going with the same lineup for the 4th game in a row, the exact same lineup. I think the only change he could make is, Bay coming in for Victor Lindelof. Because he has been reports saying that Victor Lindelof is a doubt for this game tomorrow because he came off injured in our 5-2 win against Bournemouth. But, if he's fit enough to play, then I think, Victor Lindelof will play. But if he's not, then, Bay will play ahead of him. But I think that's the only change he will make if he is to make any changes. So anyway, I'm going to go with David De Gea in goal. Of course, David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper for the remainder of this season. Probably more than likely, he's going to remain our number one goalkeeper for next season as well. Because some people believe that Dean Henderson could become our number one next season. Solskjaer was talking about Dean Henderson quite a few weeks ago, and he did say he's not ready to become Man United's number one goalkeeper yet. But he did say that he expects Dean Henderson to be our number one and England's number one goalkeeper in the future. Probably means a foreseeable future. Dean Henderson is staying on loan with Sheffield United for the remainder of this season. This has been his second season on loan with Sheffield United, and he has been Sheffield United's player of the season. Like I said, he's had quite a few loan spells as Dean Henderson with Stockport, Shrewsbury and Grimsby. And we got Dean Henderson from Carlisle back in 2011. We got him as a 14-year-old Dean Henderson, and he's still got a contract with us until 2022. And it did say he'd only sign a new contract with us if he was to be guaranteed to be our number one for next season. Now, since the resumption of the season, to be honest with you, I haven't really been too pleased with David De Gea. Some of his clearances haven't, been great. Obviously, in the game against Tottenham, he should have saved Steven Bergwijn's shot. In our previous game against Bournemouth, he got beaten his near post by Junior Stanislas. So David De Gea, should have, saved that as well. But there again, Harry Maguire was also accountable because he got nutmegged by Junior Stanislas. But David De Gea is still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, reflected on what he's achieved at the football club, because he's won everything here domestically with us. He's also won individual awards reflecting on his good run of performances. He's approaching now his 10th year at Manchester United. I think analysing it, David De Gea's had a good 7 years out of the 9 years he's been here. I think in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he has made. I think David De Gea has made 400, or if he hasn't, he's nearly made 400 appearances for the club in all competitions. David De Gea is on 375 grand a week. So he's the highest paid goalkeeper in the world, and he's the highest paid at the football club, because he did sign a 4-year deal back in September of last year, did David De Gea. I said when he eventually leaves Manchester United, he will go back to Spain. The main explanations is because he began his footballing career in Spain with Atletico Madrid, who of course are from Spain. His family's from Spain, his girlfriend and that's from Spain. And don't forget, back in 2015, David De Gea was close to joining Real Madrid. But due to a fax machine, the deal never materialised, and David De Gea is now in his late 20s. So yeah, he will be in goal for this game against Aston Villa. Wan-Bissaka at right back. Of course, Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. I think Wan-Bissaka has enjoyed an exceptional first season at the football club. His defensive contributions being very, very good. And recently, we have started to see the attacking side of his game. And, recently as well, he's got in decent crossing positions. We paid £45 million for Wan-Bissaka last summer from Crystal Palace. But I think he can be our right back for at least the next decade, can Wan-Bissaka. So, yeah, he will be at right back. Like I said, it'll be Lindelof or Bay alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Some United fans would actually say give Eric Bay the chance because Victor Lindelof, has been a bit of a liability recently, and I don't think he was too good against Bournemouth. I thought Joshua King dealt with him far too easily. This has now been Victor Lindelof's third season at the football club. We got him for £30 million from Benfica back in 2017, so we actually got him under Jose Mourinho, and Victor Lindelof struggled for that consistency in his first season. But I think last season, this season, a lot of aspects of his game have really, really improved. But he still had some bad games throughout the course of this season at Manchester United as Victor Lindelof. But yeah, it depends if he's fit enough to play. It all depends. Eric Bay, I've been hearing stories saying that we are considering loaning Eric Bay out. He's a very, very good centre-half, is Eric Bay. My only element of concern about Eric Bay is that he's injury-prone. This has now been his fourth season at Manchester United, Eric Bay's. We paid £30 million in from Villarreal back in 2016, so he was our first signing under Jose Mourinho, was Eric Bay. There's actually been talks about him going to Valencia on loan. But yeah, one of them alongside Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, of course, I think he's enjoyed a very, very good first season for Man United. I hope he has a better game against Aston Villa than he did against Bournemouth, because he weren't too good against Bournemouth, to be quite honest with you, was Harry Maguire. Like I said, he got nutmegged for Junior Stanislas' goal. I still believe that we made the right decision by giving Harry Maguire the captaincy. We're giving the captaincy reflecting on Ashley Young's departure. I think Maguire's now got, 3 goals for the football club? We paid £80 million in from Leicester last summer. So he's the most expensive centre-half in the world. And he's the second most expensive signing at the football club, just behind Paul Pogba. So yeah. At left back, I think it will be Luke Shaw at left back. He will remain our first choice left back for the remainder of this season, Luke Shaw. Maybe next season it could be different. We've also got Brandon Williams at left back, but, Solskjaer will see it as that, Luke Shaw is more experienced than Brandon Williams. Don't forget, Luke Shaw missed the first part of the season due to injury. And the only element of concern about Luke Shaw, he is injury prone. But prior to that, very, very good left back. Like I said, this has been his 6th season with us now. We paid, £30 million in from Southampton back in 2014. So, yeah, he'll be at left back. The two in the midfield, I think, will be Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic. Got to make an admission regarding Paul Pogba. I think he's made a fantastic impact since the resumption of the season. Obviously, I didn't really have a perception on him for the vast majority of the season because he was out with injury, was Paul Pogba. But he's done really, really well. He really, really has. And Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to stay at the football club. And I think he will be at Manchester United next season. And I think Paul Pogba's combination with Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely exceptional. So yeah, so I think he'll definitely be starting the game. Matic, he's getting starts now, isn't he, in the Nemanja Matic, reflecting on his good run of performances. Don't forget, Matic recently signed a 3-year contract with Manchester United to keep him with us until the summer of 2023. It wasn't so long ago that we'd extended 12 months on his contract. But he's become an integral part of the team. I think Matic has made around 114 appearances for us. Earlier on in the season, Matic was behind the likes of Fred, McTominay and Pereira, but he's done very, very well. He really, really has. So I think he does deserve a new contract. We paid £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2017, Nemanja Matic. And he is now in his 30s. So yeah. Then the three attackers, Bruno Fernandes, of course, in the number 10. Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. I think Bruno Fernandes, has he now got, is it like 6 or 7 goals since his arrival from Sporting Lisbon in January? We got Bruno Fernandes in a deal worth around £65 million. And I think when we signed him, he signed, was it a 5 or a 5.5 year deal? In nearly every single Premier League match, Bruno Fernandes has been given man of the match, reflecting on his good run of performances. Don't forget, back in February, won Premier League Player of the Month, reflecting on how good his performances were. Don't forget, in the previous game against Bournemouth, Bruno Fernandes had provided 2 assists, and he also scored the 5th goal from a sublime free kick. So definitely is making the difference in the team. He's a midfield maestro, let's be honest. On the right, I think we're going to start Mason Greenwood again. Mason Greenwood has been starting recently because for the vast majority of the season, Mason Greenwood's appearances have been, well, most of his appearances have been coming from that substitutes bench, but recently has been starting games, and I think we are making the right decision by starting Mason Greenwood. I would definitely play him ahead of Daniel James, Mason Greenwood. And, he's flourishing as a Manchester United player. And don't forget, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was recently talking about him. He actually said that Mason Greenwood is ready to play for England at senior level. He also said that Mason Greenwood is a better finisher than Wayne Rooney was at the same age and that. And he even said that he's ahead of him at the same age. This is what, Solskjaer had said. But yeah, Mason Greenwood did score twice in the 5-2 win against Bournemouth. He also scored in the 3-0 win against Brighton. So 3 goals in his last 2 starts for Mason Greenwood. What a season he's having. And I think now he's on 15 goals this season for the football club. In all competitions, obviously. But yeah, I think he'll start on the right. On the left, Marcus Rashford. Of course, Rashford has been playing out wide, when he's been playing this season, because earlier on in the season, Marcus Rashford was out with a back injury. And I did say, didn't I, he was a big miss. He scored in our last game against Bournemouth from the penalty spot. It was his first goal since the resumption of the season, and it was good to see Marcus Rashford ending his 7-month goal drought. So that was very, very good to see. And I think then Anthony Martial will be playing in that number 9 role. So he'll be playing central, because Martial throughout the course of this season has been playing in that central role. Martial's on like 20 goals this season for the club, so too is Rashford. And Mason Greenwood's on 15, so they've got 55 goals between them in all competitions of Greenwood, Rashford and Anthony Martial. So that's obviously very, very impressive. Martial's enjoyed a very, very good season under Solskjaer. And don't forget, Martial was injured earlier on in the season. This has been now Martial's 5th season at the football club, and I think one of the best seasons he enjoyed was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era, Anthony Martial. We actually got Martial as a 19-year-old. We paid, was it around £36 million for him, potentially rising up to 57 or 58 million based on goals and achievements. So that's the lineup I think we're going to go with. So that's the exact same lineup if Lindelof starts as, the lineup we've gone with in the last 3 games. And yeah, of course, it is the 4-2-3-1 formation. I think Solskjaer's going to stick with that formation anyway. He has been changing formation a lot throughout the course of this season, but as you noticed a lot, we have gone with that 4-2-3-1 formation, if you've noticed a lot. I do think, we are going to win this game against Aston Villa tomorrow. We are looking to extend our unbeaten run to 17 games in all competitions. We are unbeaten in our last 16 games at the moment in all competitions. And I think we are unbeaten in like our last 9 league games. Like I said, we've got a very, very good record against Aston Villa. We've only lost 1 of our last 42 Premier League games against Aston Villa. And that That loss was back in 2010. I think when Gabriel Agbonlahol scored, was it? If I'm correct, yeah, it was back in 2010. We're unbeaten against Aston Villa in our last 20 away games against them. I think the last time we lost at Villa Park was back in 1995. So that's what, 25 years ago now. So, we should win this game against Villa. The last time we played them at Villa Park, most recent, was back in 2015, which was 5 years ago, and I think we beat them by 1-0. Of course, his fixture early on in the season at Old Trafford was 2-2. I think the only injuries we've got is Phil Jones, Alex Tuanzebe, and Victor Lindelof at the moment. They're the only injuries we've got. Villa themselves, they've got a few injuries. I think they've got, is it Tyrone Mings? And he recently sustained an injury for Villa. Jack Grealish, he sustained a knock in Aston Villa's 2-0 defeat to Liverpool. I think Mings came off in that game as well, if I'm correct. They've got Wesley out. They've got Matthew Targett out. They've got Tom Heaton out. So Villa, have got a few injuries. But Jack Grealish should be involved in the game anyway. Dean Smith's already confirmed it. Don't forget, Jack Grealish is one of our priority targets. We are trying to get Jack Grealish on the board. Jack Grealish's agent has come out and said that Jack Grealish is focusing on Aston Villa and he's focusing on getting them safety. Villa did say that they wanted around £80 million for Jack Grealish. But obviously, if Villa get relegated, then he won't cost as much as £80 million. Maybe you could get him for like £40 or £50 million. But Jack Grealish has already said he wants to leave Aston Villa. He's already said he wants to leave Aston Villa. So, yeah, we are still trying to get him on the board. But I think, we can finish the season on a high. We've got, 5 games remaining in the Premier League. I think in reality we should win at least 4 of our 5 remaining games, or win all of our 5 remaining games. People say we have got an easy run in the Premier League. I said it, but you saw Solskjaer in his previous press conference ahead of before the Bournemouth game, and he said that we haven't got an easy running because we've got points to prove against the teams that we struggled against earlier on in the season. We've got Villa tomorrow, we drew them early on in the season 2-2. Also, too, we've got Southampton coming up very soon. We didn't beat them early on in the season, we drew. Palace, we lost to them early on in the season 2-1 at Old Trafford. West Ham's coming up very soon. We lost to them early on in the season 2-0. So, we have got points to prove against, the teams we struggled against, definitely, earlier on in the season. In the season. But yeah, we've got things to play for. Of course, we need to win our remaining games to keep our top 4 ambitions alive. We are going for that top 4. There's still a chance, we can finish 3rd in the Premier League. And Solskjaer was recently targeting a 3rd place finish. Solskjaer was recently talking about the importance of Champions League qualification. Because we need Champions League qualification, because we'll generate money. Plus, we'll attract players to the elite level and it'll help us have more of a competitive summer transfer market. I think we've got to win at least the FA Cup or the Europa League. But there's a chance there. To win 2 trophies under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because we are into the semi-finals of the FA Cup. We've got Chelsea. We're also into the last day of the Europa League. Well, more or less into the last day of the Europa League because we are 5-0 up against Lask from the first leg. So if we could win even at least one of them, it would be a great achievement for Manchester United and Solskjaer because we've not won out in terms of silverware since 2017, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. We want to win the FA Cup as well so we can get on 13. We can get level with Arsenal, if we was to win it this season. But we haven't won the FA Cup since 2016. and that was under the Louis van Gaal era. But Solskjaer did say he expects the battle for the top four to go down to the wire, because he said the other week that there's around 7 teams that are battling it out for third and fourth. Third and fourth. So we'll see what happens. Villa, they're obviously, fighting a relegation battle. Aston Villa do want to stay up. And I thought they was unlucky against Liverpool, to be quite honest with you. I thought they dominated large portions of the game. I thought, they created some very, very good chances, but really, just did not convert them chances. I do think, Aston Villa are going down. I really, really do think they're going down. They're going down. Like I said, though, Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for 18 months. So he's actually, been at the football club a year and a half. And he's been permanent Manchester United manager for around 15 months. But I've seen a lot of improvements under Solskjaer. Like I said, we've definitely improved in the transfer market under him. What I mean is we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment, and Solskjaer's recommended the players in that I wanted to recommend in. So far, Solskjaer's recommended 5 players into Manchester United and spent just over £200 million. Last summer, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. So that's also, that's improved our recruitment, definitely. Because I did say to you, didn't I, our recruitment had been poor for several years. We was also criticised for overpaying for players, because in recent years, I've got to make an admission, we have overpaid for players. Also, 2 players have really, really improved under Solskjaer, especially, the top players, which is also very, very good to see. It's good as well that the young players have been given their opportunities. Solskjaer has promoted the youth very, very well. But more or less in general anyway, everybody's being given their chances, because Solskjaer did say when he got appointed in as Man United manager, everybody would get their chances to express themselves. I think a lot of aspects of our game have really improved as well. If you've been watching us recently, we've created more chances, we've been more clinical in front of goal, we've scored more goals. We do defensively look better. We look much better now in that midfield. And our football looks more expansive. And, we have kept a lot of clean sheets as well in this unbeaten run. So hopefully, we can go unbeaten for the remainder of the season. Like I said, we've had some very, very good results under Solskjaer, especially against the top 6 sides. Beating Leicester early on this season 1-0. Solskjaer, became the first manager to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in one season, because we have beat City 3 times this season out of the 4 times we've played them. We drew with Liverpool earlier on in the season. Also, we have beaten Chelsea 3 times this season, so Solskjaer's overcome Frank Lampard 3 times. Solskjaer's beaten Tottenham twice as a manager, so we've done very, very well against the big 6 sides. Obviously, Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into the football club. I think over 20 players have left the football club, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in. So that's obviously, very, very good to see. A lot of contracts have been extended as well since Solskjaer came in. We still face a dilemma regarding the contracts, though, because we've still got 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year, and Solskjaer has got to make a decision on them 8 players. Paul Pogba's contract expires next year, but there's an option of a further year. Juan Mata's contract expires next year. There's an option of a further year again. I give you the news regarding Juan Mata yesterday. There was reports coming from the Turkish press saying that Fenerbahce are interested in Juan Mata. So Juan Mata's actually set to leave Manchester United, and he doesn't even get in the team now anyway. Juan Mata's made 252 appearances for the club in all competitions and scored 48 goals, and this has been his 6th season at Manchester United. Paid just under £40 million in from Chelsea back in 2014, and we got him under the David Moyes era. So yeah, his contract expires next year. Also too, so too does Lee Grant's, Joe Pereira's, Sergio Romero's. Who else? Who else? Marcus Rojo's does. Alex Tuanzebe's does. His contract also expires next year. Jesse Lingard's expires next year. Andres Pereira's also expires next year. So yeah, we are still facing a dilemma regarding the contracts and all of that. But like I said, Solskjaer has got big decisions to make in the summer. Obviously, what players he's going to recommend in and, what players he's going to get rid of. I think Solskjaer's looking to make around 2 or 3 signings in the summer transfer window. This is what he's looking to do. Solskjaer has confirmed his transfer priorities. He wants to recommend Rai Rinnering. He wants to recommend a striker in, and I think he also wants to recommend a centre defensive midfielder in. The story still coming out saying that Solskjaer wants to recommend a centre half in, but I think he wants to recommend a right winger and a striker in first before he considers recommending a centre half in to the football club. This is what he's considering doing. But recently, his summer transfer wish list had been revealed, and these are the players that he was interested in getting in. It said Grealish, Sancho, Maddison, Moussa Dembele. He's also been another player on our agenda in that. It's going to be interesting to see how he approaches the summer transfer window, because we have got to make signings. I'm actually not sure how much we're going to get to spend. Because Solskjaer said the other week that he's unsure how much we'll get to spend because of the financial impacts of the coronavirus pandemic. Don't forget, Ed Woodward did say the other month that we will remain competitive in the summer transfer market, but he did say we won't do business as usual. So he ruled out big transfers to Man United, because don't forget the coronavirus pandemic had cost us around 28 million. Our net debt is just over 429 million. Because it said the other month that our debt had risen up by almost £130 million. But Solskjaer knows he's got the backing of Ed Woodward, and he's also got the backing of the Glazers. I did say, didn't I, our expectations next season will be to challenge for the Premier League title. I think if we can have a good summer transfer window, then I think, next season we can compete for the Premier League title. I said to you, didn't I, at some point I think we can win a title under Solskjaer. And if we can do that, that will be our 21st title, because as it stands at the moment, we have won 20 titles, 13 of them at Premier League. So we are still the most successful team in England at the moment. We are in that. But, this has been now the 7th season we have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season and all of that. But definitely Solskjaer will be Man United manager next season. He will. Even if we weren't to get qualification for the Champions League. Don't forget, earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was really close to getting sacked. Because earlier on in the season, we had enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, Solskjaer was really close to getting the sack. But I already given you the main explanations why he didn't get sacked from Man United. But yeah, I want his managerial tenure to work out with the club, because end of the day, Solskjaer's a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance and all of that. And, his decision-making, now seems to be correct, because a lot of decisions Solskjaer made early on this season weren't right. He didn't really have a plan A, or didn't really have a plan B. But I think now with his tactical changes made, he's got it right. He knows his best 11, he knows his best formation and that. And reflect on the amount of time he's been with us so far, Solskjaer has gained managerial experience, which is very, very good. He hasn't got a good pedigree behind him, I know that, but he's got some managerial experience now. Man United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. Before he was at us, he was at Molde, won a couple of Norwegian titles there. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff, did Solskjaer. He got sacked from Cardiff because he ended up, getting Cardiff relegated and that. he ended up, getting Cardiff relegated and that. But in the last 7 years, we have been playing catch up. We spent close to the £1 billion range on players. We've recruited over 30 odd players since the Ferguson era. And people say, reflect on the money we've spent. We should be where Liverpool are. We've also got players on big contracts at the football club. Like I said, De Gea's on 375 grand a week. Maguire's on 200 grand a week. Rashford's on over 200 grand a week. Martial's on 200 odd grand a week. Like Lingard, he's on around 100 grand a week at the club. You've got Fernandez, that's on over 100 grand a week. You've got Pogba on just under 300 grand a week. So we have got players on, big wages at the football club. We really, really have. Really, really have in that. And yeah, in the last 7 years, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Because Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. But there's been a lot of problems at the club for the last 7 years. There's been cultural problems. There's been a lot of problems with the club's board. There's been problems with the likes of Ed Woodward and the Glazers and that. And I was very, very critical of Solskjaer earlier on this season, but we're now going into the right direction and that. So now we are starting to resolve the problems that we've had for the last 7 years or so. The news anyway, I'm Jadon Sancho. We've got until the 10th of August to sign him. Borussia Dortmund have confirmed this. Sancho did say, though, if Dortmund refused to let him come to Man United, he could actually, put in a transfer request. Dortmund still do want, though, over £100 million for Jadon Sancho. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.